What is up, Honey Badger Nation? This is John Kitchens, and man, welcome to episode 172. Super excited to be able to really dive in with everybody today, with everybody this morning, to be able to just kind of dive into a topic that is, I feel, extremely important for us as leaders moving into this new year and beyond. It's a topic that actually have done on Expert Mentors before. And so you can go back and find this previous episode as we dive into the topic of emotional intelligence. And had a little incident over the weekend, and it was just one of those things that was almost a trigger, if you will. I guess just because of understanding this and understanding emotional intelligence and understanding the importance of developing these capabilities, these soft skills, really wanted to really bring this to you guys. Really wanted to jump in and share. There's some key pieces as we walk through this presentation that I have on and around emotional intelligence. But before we jump in to today's topic, I just want to kind of reiterate what Expert Mentors Live is all about. Like I said, this is episode 172, and we come live to you guys every Wednesday at noon Central. And really, Expert Mentors Live is just an opportunity to tap into the horsepower of our Honey Badger Nation. As you guys know, there's so much talent. We have, the top three teams at EXP are all Honey Badgers. You look at some of the top agents on the planet; they're all aligned either with us at EXP, or they're aligned with us at EXP as Honey Badgers, which is even cooler than what it is. So the Expert Mentor series started several years ago through the collective brain power of Kyle Whistle, Daniel Beer, Jay Kinder, Al Stasic, Michael Reese, and myself. And I just have had the opportunity to be the host over this time, and also be able to jump in and add value from time to time. And that's really what today is all about. So we do have EMLreplays.com that you can go to and subscribe, and you can catch all previous 171 previous episodes are there. And like I said, they're just conversations and training with some of the best agents on the planet, and also just equally as impressive human beings as well. So wanted to jump in, and we're going to get rocking today on this specific topic. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to leave it just like this, because if I hit play, as you guys know, it'll black out the whole screen and all I can see is the presentation. But the goal for today is to give you some awareness. Before we can make choices to improve upon anything, there has to be an awareness. Before we can make a change in anything in our lives, there has to be an awareness. And so today's goal is to just give you some awareness around the topic of emotional intelligence, and really what even the heck that really is. And so I really want to be able to shed some understanding, some light, but also give you guys some knowledge, understanding of what it is and how we can continue to improve upon it. We'll just dive through this. I know that there was a couple little things that I wanted to just add in as we went, but I'm sure I'll interject as we go. But that's the goal. Just give you guys a level of awareness and some context around developing this skill set. So when we look at kind of what I really want us to hit on today in today's Expert Mentors is on these 5 things. Emotional intelligence. Why do most people fail in business? What are the top 5 skills that we have to develop? The number 1 rule in leadership, and a concept of outcome over ego. Really want to be able to give you guys this knowledge, this understanding to be able to run with. And for those of you that will be listening to this and on the podcast and that don't have the visual, I'll try to read through as much of this as I possibly can to keep us on track here. All right. After this presentation, I don't know how much time we'll have left, but if you have any questions, throw it into the comments section. Anything that you need a little more clarity on, or a little more understanding, or anything that you want me to share, definitely throw it into the comments section, and we'll address it after we get wrapped up. So, emotional intelligence. This was the quote that was on the call post.
If your emotional abilities aren't in hand, if you don't have self-awareness, if you are not able to manage your distressing emotions, if you can't have empathy and have effective relationships, then no matter how smart you are not going to get very far.
And that's Dr. Daniel Goleman, who is one of, kind of at the forefront of really leading the emotional intelligence charge. And so there's definitely a deep understanding. If you guys are Gary Vee fans, you hear Gary talk about this a lot, and so it's one of the things that he rants and raves about. I can't argue with him. I just feel this is so critical for us as leaders and human beings to develop this moving into the future. And like I said, what really kind of triggered it was an experience that happened over the weekend, and I was the only one in the sauna. I walked out, I wanted to go about had about another 5 minutes that I wanted to go. I had headphones on. I can't take my phone in the sauna because it's too hot. It'll shut the phone off. And I'm not kidding you. Ended up being the only one in there. I walk out. I'm gonna need to change the music, and I got a great song I like to listen to that's right at 5 minutes long. So it's like the last 5 minutes I like to put it on, and so I walk out. I hear somebody walk in behind me. As I walk out, I kind of turn the corner, and I see out of the corner of my eye, I see somebody walk in. I'm not kidding you. I leave my towels. This is a big sauna. I walk in, my towels are on the floor, and there's a dude sitting 2 feet from where I was sitting. And this is a big sauna. Like, dude, there's towels, there's sweat. Like, go sit away from where I'm at. And he's on his phone, completely oblivious. And I was like, there is zero social awareness going on right here. And I just found, like, what is social awareness? Made the post. And of course, old Uncle Wally goes, oh, AKA emotional intelligence. And I was like, yep, it's exactly what it is. So it's just been on my mind. And it's just amazing how some things that we see as common sense just aren't so common. And that's what, emotional intelligence will give us a greater awareness around the common sense factor. And so, getting back into kind of the slides, what distinguishes great leaders from merely good ones? It isn't IQ, technical skills. It really is emotional intelligence. Guys, there are no business problems. It's only leadership problems. What you have to understand with business is just math. And you either have a model that delivers, captures, creates, and delivers the value back to the marketplace that works and the math works, or it doesn't. It could be a model issue, but for the most part, it's not a business problem. It's a leadership problem. Where a lot of agents get tripped up is that, man, they bring so much damn drama into the business. And guys, ladies, it's remove the drama. And the math is simple. So if there's an issue, it's a leadership issue. That's where you have to look first. And I, at my core, truly believe this. And I believe that before you can lead, coach, mentor, train another human being, you have to be able to lead and coach yourself at the highest level, period. I believe that at my core. I've seen it time and time again. If you want a bigger and better business, that business size and your organization size is elastic to your leadership capabilities. Leadership is a skill. Anything that is a skill can be developed. Always have to remember that. And, the gut check question is, would you follow you? And, some equities of our life, we would say yes. Some equities of our life, we would probably say no. And, I love the 3 buckets. I can't remember the gentleman's last name. He's since passed away. But it was the 3 things. It was health, wealth, and relationships, just to keep it simple. I like Garrett White's from Warrior. He has faith, family, fitness, and finance. He has the four F buckets. Our good buddy Ryan Stewman, he has G code, whatever that is, whatever concept, whoever you connect with. I like keeping it simple. I like it simple, so I like health, wealth, and relationships. Would you follow you in your health? Would you follow you in your wealth? Would you follow you in your relationships? I threw a little pro tip in here. I got my man Tiger, and if when you see Tiger pop up, it's just I just want you to pay attention, and I want you to get this thing right here. People fail in leadership because they have not spent the time coaching and leading themselves. They have not invested on the personal development side. Jim Rohn 101. You have to be willing to invest in your personal development. His rule of thumb was 10%. If you want to make $1 million this year, a line item in your budget better be 10%. Better be 100,000 that you're willing to invest in yourself and your business to achieve the desired outcome. Most people aren't willing to do that. They're not willing to make that investment. And that's why their business will stay where it is. They won't expand their leadership and personal development capabilities, and therefore their business is not going to expand. And the skill, here we go again, a skill means it can be developed, and it's emotional intelligence. There are 5 foundational key components to emotional intelligence. And number 1 is self-awareness. Number 2 is self-regulation. We have motivation. We have social skills. And I believe the most powerful is empathy. So self-awareness. So self-awareness is the ability to recognize and understand our moods, our emotions, our drives, as well as their effect on others. So the gentleman on Saturday in the sauna, my man had no self-awareness. He was only worried about himself, and that's okay, right? So one of the other things we'll talk on in empathy a little bit is like, I can't judge him. I don't know what he's dealing with. He might be dealing with some shit. We're all dealing with some shit. And so like, I didn't get upset at him. I just kind of looked, kind of rolled my eyes to myself, and I grabbed my towels and I moved over to the other side of the sauna and finished up my session and got out of there and, went on about my day. But it was just one of those things that, when you have a high level of awareness, you see it. For us to grow in self-awareness is number 1 is just become more self-reflective. Being able to pause and reflect. Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Run a personal SWOT on yourself. The other thing is I would recommend going through the unique ability process. It's Dan Sullivan's strategic coach. It's his concept of identifying what you are the best in the world at. We all have a specific talent and skill that we bring to the table that is just kind of hardwired into who we are. So hopefully you guys kind of, the little self-reflective, unique ability. But the other instruments, the other tools there, like I said, like the DISC, the Enneagram, the other one that I would highly recommend is the Kolbe, Kolbe. Kolbe really talks about how we really take action, how we get work done. That's the difference. And the DISC, like I said, is more of an energy management tool, meaning, I've coached high C personalities that crush sales. However, when they go home at the end of the day, they're exhausted. Whereas, your D's and I's are in a more of a natural flow state where the energy is not zapped if you're engaging with other humans and really from a sales perspective. And so they're not drained of energy at the end of the day. However, if you put a high D or an I to do analytical accounting pieces, they can do it. They're going to be exhausted at the end of the day. So just understanding, the DISC is a great energy management tool, but the Kolbe is the tool that tells us how we get work done. So I would recommend that. And then just push for a feedback rich environment to where you're in an environment that you encourage feedback. It's really, really important. The next component of emotional intelligence is self-regulation. So self-regulation is the ability to control our disruptive impulses and moods, suspend judgment, and think before acting. We all There's certain things that trigger us to where we just act, we respond instead of, pause and think. And so self-regulation is huge. And think about it, when the team drops the ball with a client or on a file, and we just want to lose our shit. We have to step back and what else could it mean? What else could have gone on here? And this is where extreme ownership, the 100-0 ultimate responsibility, and a culture of accountability is key. In one, it has to start with you, and that's the extreme ownership. Consider all the reasons for failure. Like, the team dropped the ball, but what was missing? Do we have an operating procedure that's out of date or non-existent? Like, what's going on? Motivation is really a passion to work for reasons that go beyond money or status. And we'll get into this. The difference between inspiring and motivation. Nobody can motivate us. Motivation is internal. People can inspire us. They can inspire us to take action, but motivation is from within. You have to understand that. If you're looking for motivation, you're not going to find it. Motivation comes from within. You're looking for inspiration. You're looking for those that can inspire us to get off our ass, to take action, inspire us to be better. And there are five different types of motivation. And the first is leading out of fear, out of guilt, out of shame, anger, rage. We've all experienced that type of motivation. We've probably done it ourselves, to our kids, to our team members, to family. But the problem is that it breaks trust. Remember, trust is just authenticity times time, being vulnerable times time. And when you're trying to, find something that is leading out of fear, fearing or guilting or shaming somebody into take action, you're just going to break trust. The second motivator is extrinsic rewards. This is the carrot. Okay. Hey, you're going to get X. So think about this. If you've ever ran any type of sales program or sales incentive with your team, think about the reward. And if it's the first time for a reward of a certain size, how excited did the team get? Well, you had great success. We hit our sales goals. And we're like, well, let's just do it again. And you throw out the same carrot. Do you get the same outcome? No, because they've already achieved that. The carrot has to be bigger. And so this is why that motivator it's a motivator. It'll motivate your ass, but it's not going to get you the outcome that you want consistently over time. Now, from a motivator, where the ship starts to turn is when we move away from, the carrots and the fears and the motivations, the motivation through guilt, shame, and we start looking internally. We get into the intrinsic side of things. And this is really why it's important. And we push all of our team and push everybody that I work with and coach with is like, what's that greater purpose? What is it that calling? And we have to be aligned with that. And this goes back to what we're the best in the world at. What is our unique ability? And so being able to have that keeps us in alignment to that purpose. I know, certain people, the start with why with Simon Sinek, how he has broken that down. There are certain people that, poo-poo on that, and that's cool. The way I best understand the why process that Simon talks about is, what are you the best in the world at so that you could do it that gives you the most fulfillment? That's the unpacking and understanding that I have. And the first part is, what are you the best in the world at? So that you could do that every day, all the time. That's going to give you the most fulfillment. And that's where the intrinsic side of things comes in. And this, like I said, is the first level of motivation that doesn't just leave this toxic residue. Number 4 is play. Man, it has to feel like play. Um, it's just think about us as kiddos, right? Like we could do this all day, every day, and it's fun. We love it. Where it doesn't feel like work, and it's not tired at the end of the day. It's just man, it feels like play. It's not even this. It's not hard. I mean, it's hard, it's difficult, but at the end of the day, you don't feel that way. And as mammals motivated by food, learning, and play, it has to feel like play. Do you love working out? Do you love growing your real estate business? Do you love growing your organization? Do you love whatever it is, the thing itself? And that's one of the most powerful motivators. And understanding this right here, guys. If you take anything away from this, teams, if you're building a team, teams of the future, your team moving forward has to be motivated by those last 3. You have to create an environment, a culture to where people are driven by their intrinsic. It has to feel like play and they have to love it. And then we have to make sure that it's aligned to purpose, get everybody's commitment to play in what they're the best in the world at, have fun, love it, whatever it is for you, and love each other. That's the culture you want to create. And you want to pull that out of your people. You want to challenge them all the time. I do that with my team on a weekly, if not daily basis. And I'm like, okay, you were hired for this, but what do you love doing? What do you not want to do? If you could do that all day, every day, what would it be? And that's where we try to move them into. We try to move them into that to where they're working in their zone of genius. They're having fun. They love it. They love each other. They're driven by their internal rewards. And that's how you build a team that wins in the future. And so if you guys take anything away from today's episode, I hope you get that. If you're committed to building a team and moving and doing big things in the future, you have to nail this piece right here. All right, number 4 within emotional intelligence is social skills. And social skills is really just the proficiency in managing relationships, building networks, find common ground, build rapport, and move people in a desired direction. That's what you have to focus on. What is your question to statement ratio? Can you work the room? Do you have not only the social skills but the social awareness? The gentleman in the sauna, his social awareness game wasn't on. And like I said, understanding, the 5th element of emotional intelligence, understanding empathy. I don't know what the dude was going through. Like, obviously he had zero awareness and he could have been exhausted from his workout. I mean, who knows? So, it's just understanding that, are you developing that skill set to be able to build relationships, your network, right? Your network, show me your network, show your net worth, being able to build that circle that's inspiring you and pushing you to be the best version of yourself on a daily basis. And what's your ability to then turn and move people in that desired direction. Characteristics, effectiveness in leading change, being able to, have the ability to, persuade in the right way of getting people to see the direction, the point of view, and being able to buy in and commit to that direction. Networking, right? Being able to build that network in leading teams. Can you build and lead a team? And like I said, it's going to be real hard unless you can build and lead yourself first. That's where it has to start. It's just there's a code. I just believe there's a code and a sequence to unlock anything in our life. And if you want a bigger and badder organization and business, then you've got to build a team, and you got to build a team of A players. And for you to build a team of A players, you have to become an A player first. And then the final piece within motivation, of our emotional intelligence is empathy. I think if you get this at the highest level, those other four things will take care of themselves. And really empathy is just the ability to understand the emotional makeup of other people. How do you treat people according to their emotional reactions? For you as a human, the one thing that replenishes our emotional batteries, that you look at health, the health, let's just look at the health bucket for a second. And you have three things on the health side of things. And one is, I would say, nutrition, your diet. I would say then the other is your strength, the physical, and then the other is going to be cardio to counterbalance our emotions. Think about it. If you've ever been emotionally drained, you go for a walk, how do you feel afterwards? You feel kind of recharged, you feel better. And that's what the recharge for our emotions is. So you have to emotionally stay strong, but develop a high level of awareness. So think about it. Some jackass cuts you off in traffic. How do you respond? Do you like flip them the Kid Rock, or do you be like, man, that dude's got to be going through, man, I hope everything's okay. They may be rushing. Somebody may be sick, right? You don't know because you're not in their shoes. And there's one video, just for time's sake, I'm not going to play it, but I will recommend that all of you watch it. And if you have a team, I can't stress enough to have your team watch it. And if you go to YouTube and you search, just type in Cleveland Clinic empathy. Type in those three words, Cleveland Clinic empathy. The video will come up. It's about 4.5 minutes long. It is the most powerful 4.5 minutes you will watch in your life. It took me about a dozen times to watch that video without me tearing up. It will move you. And if it doesn't move you, that's a whole nother conversation. But if you if you have an ounce of emotion inside of you, you will be moved. The other principle we talked about, and this is one of our core values, is 100-0, extreme ownership. And it's 100% responsibility for everything that happens and zero excuses. And it's not pushing blame. It's not talking about, that's your fault, and being a victim mentality. Nothing pisses me off and drives me more crazy than that. And so, understanding that principle of, hey, everything's my fault. Here's what we've done better. Here's what we're going to do about it moving forward. And that's creating a culture of accountability. And so me personally, I don't give a shit what happened. I just want to know what we're going to do about it moving forward. Period. And it makes it real hard in relationships with other human beings that don't embody that same understanding, that same concept, right? They say they want to, but they don't. They're living a life of being a victim, and that's cool. That doesn't mean that I need to be around that person. There's other human beings that embody this, that live it, that will gravitate and be attracted to you when they understand that this is one of the principles that you live by. And at the end of the day, self-leadership is all that matters. If this is broke, nothing else. If you guys can't lead, if we cannot lead ourselves at the highest levels, then trust is broken and people will leave. It's just a matter of time. They're gone. And so, like the man Biggie Smalls says, we can't change the world until we change ourselves. If you guys have big, hairy, audacious goals, big aspirations, it's going to be in direct proportion to your ability, period. Another little pro tip: the number one rule in leadership is lead by example. That's it. Health, wealth, and relationships. Are you leading by example? And example is not the main thing influencing others. It's the only thing. And we have to remember, as a leader, we are always on stage. Always. Spotlight is always on. The other thing that I would say too is, and this is on the social media side of things, you better be showing up online as you do in real life. one of the fastest ways, this is the most transparent and authentic time in history. This was kind of the theme leading into last year, and it's not going to change. This is going to become more and more transparent, more and more, authenticity will always win. But if I'm going to tell you one thing, guys, how you show up online is you better show up the same way in real life. You ain't updated your profile picture in 3 years and you put on an extra 15 pounds, you better change them damn pictures, because here's the thing. People see that image on social, and then they meet you in real life and they're like, this mofo is a phony. That's what's going to go through their mind immediately. You ain't even got to put one word out of your mouth yet. And they'll be like, this person isn't who they said they were online. What else are they hiding about? What else are they not being truthful about? How you show up online, how you show up in person better be the exact same thing. Okay? Period. Authenticity, transparency wins. I don't care. Over time, it wins. You can fake somebody for a moment, but you ain't gonna fake them for an extended period of time. And I believe anything worth building takes time. Takes time. And it's a long game, folks. And so it's your choice. Do you want to fake people, be here for just a minute, or do you want to play the game for a long period of time? Your choice. We've got to become the most disciplined. We've got to stay positive, and we got to be consistent. And that's the key. It's those. I remember one of our first kitchen table events. We were sitting there, and Renee Velasquez, she just flat out asked the question. She said, "John, you've coached hundreds and hundreds of the top agents and top performers on the planet." So they were disciplined. They were disciplined. They were the most disciplined. They were disciplined to their behavior. They were disciplined to the process. They were disciplined to the day-to-day execution. They were disciplined to only focusing on the things within their control. They maintained an enthusiasm. They were positive, optimistic in a way, and then they just maintained a consistency. You have to develop these three things if you want to excel moving forward. And I know y'all want more, so I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. And this is that concept that we were talking about of outcome over ego. And this really comes from Conscious Leadership with Jim Detmer, and really his conversation with Shane Parrish, who runs the Farnham Street blog. He had Jim on his podcast, and this is what they were really talking about: ego. And after he was kind of talking, Shane just kind of boiled it down to the concept of, essentially it's like outcome over ego. And he was like, yeah, there's below the line and above the line. And above the line is where we stay open. We stay curious. We're committed to learning. We're able to trust. And below the line is where we're contracted. We're closed. We're defensive. And we're really attached to being right. And so is the way I like to think about it, and always challenge everybody, is above the line outcome is getting to right. Just trying to get to right, whatever right is. Below the line, my ego is I'm trying to be right. And we all do that. We all fall into ego. And we have to be able to have an awareness to pull ourselves out of it and ask ourselves a simple question. Am I trying to get to right, or am I trying to be right? And if I'm trying to be right, I'm going to lose. It's all about getting to right. I may be right, and that's going to get us there. That's going to get us to the outcome we're after, but I'm not protected by that. I'm like, hey, let's lay it on the table. If that's right, it'll show, and we'll be able to get to the outcome that we're after. 3 core wants of any ego structure: control, approval, and survival, safety and security. And so we catch all of ourselves, health, wealth, and relationships. Typically, more so in our relationships, we fall into ego in a controlling way, or we're always seeking approval. And at some point, we're always fighting for survival, and that's ego. Indicator that we're coming from above the line is we reveal and we don't conceal. And so one of the little things that I like to push and talk about all the time, what we reveal, we can heal. That's it. That's why we've got to track. That's why we've got to measure. That's why we've got to make our numbers and things public, because all we're trying to do is get to the desired outcome. We need to see where the constraint, what we reveal, we can heal. That's all we're trying to get to. And outcome is really, like I said, about getting to right. Ego is about being right. And that really lands us at this point within the conversation around emotional intelligence. Apologize for the technical difficulties. Hopefully, at least we're able to maintain the audio throughout, so you'll be able to capture the nuggets and the things through the conversation. But I appreciate the handful of you guys that were hanging in here with us throughout the live. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to throw those in and share. And if you have other thoughts or things around this, or some more directions to where you can dive a little bit deeper, feel free to reach out. And like I said, it is probably one of the most critical skill sets that we can develop and then pour into our organizations and to the people around us. If we Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Expert Mentors Live. Appreciate the opportunity to be able to just jump in, add value, and hopefully, be able to provide some insights and some distinctions to you all today that will help you move into the future and have a bigger and better future. And for our present to be better, our future has to be bigger. And if we're committed to becoming the best versions of ourselves, if we're committed to really pushing on our personal development and increasing our capacity as leaders, the direct proportion to that is going to be the size of our business and the size of our organization. That's how it works. So appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in. Cannot wait to catch you guys on the next episode, and we'll see you guys soon. Appreciate y'all. Thanks.